I make the comparison, because people would say, well, Ted, you have money. Why do you trade? It's like, I enjoy it. And I grew in trading. I grew up in trading, essentially. My wealth grew in trading. My wealth didn't come from selling a big business. I didn't have rich parents. I didn't have any of that. I had a good job. I was able to build myself that way. I was already financially okay when I had my job. Now I'm just even better at that point, and I'm working for myself. So that's where it comes from. So going back to that, you now are trying to find an out. You're trying to pay back that $100, and you're doing it by any means possible because it's a stressor for you. It's triggering you because of the fact that, you owe this friend $100. Anybody who is a decent person, if you borrow money, the idea is you pay it back, right? Like, everybody who's a decent person will do that. Maybe you're not a decent person and you just borrow money from people and you just run off. You're going to basically run out of friends sooner or later, because once you do that to 10 people, the next person is probably going to come around and be like, hey, didn't you borrow money from so-and-so and not pay them back? We're not giving you money either. Eventually it comes to an end, right? So let's be perfect people. Let's be genuine people and say, hey, I really want to pay my friend back the $100. So now you're using trading as an outlet to pay back that $100, but you are worried because this is your last $20. You have that stress, and now every decision that you make in trading is coming from the ability to pay back that $100. Right? So when we break this down, it's not about the trade allocation or the trade selection anymore. It's, why are we trading to begin with, and what are my decisions pending on, right? So when we start deep diving into our brains, we have to take a step into the next level. And a lot of people, will say this is pretty straightforward. A lot of other people will be like, wow, this is like mind-blowing, right? It's because you've never really done, you've never really done a deep dive on yourself. A lot of people are in their 20s, and a lot of people maybe are in their 30s. Maybe, you haven't really taken perspective on yourself. Maybe you just always figured that, I am dumb because I'm dumb, right? So when we look at impatience, when we look at agitation, it comes from a trigger. So when we can identify those triggers, we can learn how to control them, right? So when you're trading, and I hear these stories all the time, I've overtraded, I've over-leveraged, I've blown my account. Chances are, in that blowing of the account, you had 1, 2, 3, maybe four perfect trades, 4 very good trades. Let's put it that way. So out of 100 trades, you were probably able to at least get 1 positive trade. Everyone could probably say that. If I took a poll right now, there's 240 people on this Zoom call. I could take a poll and be like, okay, if you've traded a live account or you've traded once, you've probably had a good trade. You've probably made money at some point, and everybody would raise their hand and be like, yes. So then my question becomes, well, why can't you do that again? And then now suddenly you look at yourself and you're like, well, all the excuses come up. Well, the trade reversed on me. I traded at resistance. I traded at support. I was trading in a ranging market. So now when you deep dive further, does it have something to do with your trading ability or the reason why you were making those trades at that particular time? Why were we trying to trade on Thursday night at 8:45 in the evening if we already made money today? What's the rationale behind that? As a human being, why are we making those decisions? So when you take a step back, is it because you're trying to trade and get better, or is it because you're chasing something? Are you chasing money, right? So now suddenly, when we step back, we made 3% this morning, right? But the 3% was only $3 to paying off the $100, right? So now you have $3 to pay your friend and you'll owe him $97, but you're not thinking of that. What you're thinking of now is you're saying, hey, I still have to make $97 to pay that person back. You're not thinking about, hey, I made $3 today because I put myself in the best position to win. You're not looking at that. You're looking at what you owe. You're not looking at what you made. That's where you start to get into trouble. Because if you looked at what you made today, as an example, and you made the $100, you would not be trading right now, because you would have withdrawn the $100. You would have gone to the ATM or wherever you've gone. You would have taken that $100 and you would have ran over to your friend and you would have been like, yo, here's the $100. Leave me the fuck alone. Here's your money. I'm sorry that I borrowed it from you, but you're an asshole. You bugged me every week. I didn't have the money to pay you back. Otherwise, I would have paid you back right away. Problem solved, right? Problem solved. Now you have no stress, because you can go out with your friend tomorrow and hang out. Well, we can't because we're in COVID, but if you could, you would be going out and be like, we're all good now, because it's like, I have a weight lifted off my shoulders. I paid back my friend the money, right? We would all agree to that. But because you only made the $3, you're short 97, your situation hasn't changed, right? Our situation hasn't changed. Whether you made $3 or you made $1 or you made $80, you still haven't made the $100, right? This is where the mentality of the majority of people live. They live in that place. It's either all or nothing, right? Because in your mind, $80 is just as good as $3, because that person, you owe them $100, right? But then you say, well, Ted, no, you're wrong. $80 is closer to $20 or closer to $100. I agree. But has it changed the situation? Are you able to pay back your friend? The answer is still no. This is where you have to learn the logic. Whether you have $80 or $3, can you pay back the $100? The answer is no. So what's the difference between $80 and $3? Well, Ted, $80, I'm closer to my goal. Right. You're closer to your goal. But how did you get to the $80 from the $3? You still had to do the same thing over and over again. From the $80 to the $100, you still have to do the same thing over and over again. You still have to be on guard from $80 to $81 to $82 to $83 to $84 to $85 to $86 to $87, all the way up to $100. You still have to be putting yourself in that same position to win every single time. It doesn't matter. The only time it stops mattering is when you reach the $100 target. Up until the $100 target, every decision that you make will be equally important. It will be equally important to you, whether you have $3 in your bank account or you have $300 in your bank account. If you do not have the money to pay what you need to pay, every decision that you make is of equal importance. It doesn't matter whether you're risking 50 cents or $50. The decision and the idea behind risk has to be the same. You have to put the same perspective on each decision you make, no matter what you are risking. That is your goal. That is how you solve your problems of greed. That is how you solve your problems of impatience. You have to do that every single time. Okay? You have to figure that out, and you have to say to yourself, listen, this is the decision that I'm making every single time. This is what I have to do day in and day out. And then you say to yourself, well, Ted, that means that we're a robot. That means that we are. Yes, agreed. Are we going to stray away from those plans? Yes, many times. There's always going to be a opportunity where you stray away, right? Perfect example. You trade right now and you turn around and you say, okay, well, I'm going to, I made 5% today. I'm going to trade in the evening and I'm going to see what I can do, right? That's what everyone says. right? You had a good day this morning. I guarantee you, there's 277 people right now listening to this. I guarantee you at least 150 people have opened the charts. Right now, I guarantee you at least 150 people have opened the charts at least one time today after they finished trading, if they were done trading this morning. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. I opened the charts today. I opened the charts. I opened the charts this afternoon. But what was the difference? I opened the charts because I wanted to see what was happening. I didn't open the charts because I wanted to trade. I opened the charts because I wanted to see what was happening. What I've done is I've trained my mind to understand that, hey, I can still open charts. I can still look at trades. I can still look at things, but I'm not going to click the button buy or sell. I don't need to do that. Because why? I've already been burned enough times as a trader to realize that I'm going to make a dumb mistake, right? I know I'm going to make a dumb mistake. It's not my time to trade. It could be 18,000 other people's times to trade. It's not my time. Why? Because it's not optimal for what I'm doing. I made money this morning. I did what I needed to do. Well, actually, I didn't make money this morning. I didn't trade this morning. But you know what I mean. If I had made an attempt, I would have done that, and I would have been done. So now, what does that allow me to do? That allows me to prevent or preserve capital. It allows me not to make a mistake, but more